Okay, this is a demo of the loaded Firestick. When you first plug in the Firestick, you're going to be prompted, or possibly not prompted, to put in a Wi-Fi password. If you're not prompted, you can go into Settings, Network, and put it in there. And then after putting in the password, you should get to this home screen. I may try to talk quick here, just trying to keep this video under half an hour because there's a lot of stuff here. All of this content comes default on Kodi Firestick and Amazon Firestick, and a lot of it will prompt you to pay for this content. None of this is the features of the loaded Firestick. This is all default Amazon stuff. The only features of the loaded Firestick that are added are these three icons here. And through these three icons, you can get pretty much any show, hundreds of channels, any television show, any episode that's ever been made, any movie that's ever come out on DVD, pretty much anything you want to watch. So with that, let's take a look at Mobdro first. Okay, so once you get Mobdro, I'm just going to go, there are different categories here. Each of them has tons of channels. I'm just going to click on channels for a big list. And as you can see how big this list of channels is, it is quite large. And if I click on one, I'm just going to go all the way back up here to something popular, click on HBO, and that's going to take about 2 or 3 seconds to load, fully, because it's going to freeze it at the first couple of seconds. Okay, that's enough of that. Back out of there. It's going to take 2 or 3 seconds to load, and the picture will freeze as it's loading, but it doesn't take more than a couple of seconds, shouldn't take more than a couple of seconds to load any of these channels. And just want to pause for just an idea of just how many channels there are and what some of them are. History Channel, Popular, Sky, different Sky channels, don't know what that is, and so on. So again, the list is quite large, and keep in mind this is not the only list. This does not take into account music, news, shows, movies, sports, music, gaming, animals, which is a lot of live cam channels and some weird stuff, and different stuff. And then there's others, and there's a ton of stuff under there too. Probably not enough time that I would want to go over it. If I stopped at everything like that, we'd be here for 45 minutes. Moving on. Okay, now I'm loading Kodi. Kodi is where you would get, is one of the two options. Kodi is one of two options for getting pre-recorded movies and TV shows. Once it loads, weather here, if I click on this, I'll get my local weather. By default, this will be set to Ocala. You can change the location, and this works with Yahoo Weather Service. So, for example, if I click on this, I'll get weather forecast for Ocala. Okay, moving on. Under movies and TV shows, I get the same submenu items. Some items will pop up here if I had any items in my library. They would show up top at random. Okay, Salts and Exodus are basically redundant. They're basically the same features. If you have a preference, rather than go through both, I'm just going to take a quick look at Exodus. So if I go to TV shows, just as an example, under Exodus, and I'll go to Most Popular, and I'll get a list of shows. I can click on any of these and watch them. If I click the menu button, which is the button that looks like 3 horizontal lines on my remote, on the right side of the remote, I will get this pop-up, and then I can add this show to the library for later reference. I'll show you in a moment where the library shows up. I'm going to click on Game of Thrones here, so I could watch it also directly from here. I don't have to add it to the library. I can go to whatever season I want, open up that season, and after it thinks for a moment, because this, and downloads some icons and whatnot for this show, the first time I open it, it's going to show me a list of every episode in this season and descriptions and a snapshot of part of it. That. So every episode of every season of every show of all of these shows. The first time I go through here, it'll download these icons and they'll so forth. Now, if I had added that show to my library, it would show up under here. But this is a brand new one. The library is blank, but this is where the shows would show up once I add them to my library. It works the same with movies. Twitch, I'm going to assume YouTube. You're familiar with YouTube. You can also watch YouTube on your TV through this. But I think most people are familiar with YouTube. Not everybody is familiar with Twitch. Let me just take a quick look at that. So if I go to Browse, Games, this is mostly about video games, but there is also chess and poker, as well as other similar pastimes. There's also creative stuff like Photoshop, game programming, traditional art, painting, and so forth. But if I go in here to one of these games, I can watch top-level players play a video game. If you're into that kind of thing, you just take a quick look at League of Legends, live channels. It's going to load, and this is one of the top 200 players in the world of this particular video game. This guy right here. This one is too. This is a pretty high level, top 1% players here. So it's not just random people, although there are random people. These are some of the best people at this game. So if you're into that kind of thing, that's what Twitch is. Backing out of here. Again, I don't think I have to go into YouTube. Creative is a feature of Twitch, and it's a specific category of Twitch that's not games, but like I said, creative stuff like painting and stuff like that. And then I've got Mobdrill and Terrarium, which I'll come back to maybe from the home menu. Django is basically like internet radio. Cherry Music is similar. MP3 Streams is where you can look up specific songs, and Shoutcast 2 is more like radio as well. All of these, no video associated with them. YouTube Music is video and music, and Vivo is video and music. Loyal Books is 7,000 books on tape, so that's just basically someone reading a book. But there is a pretty wide variety of books, 7,000 of them, approximately. And these three channels here are kind of like MTVs. If I click on one of these are also music and video. Okay, so backing out of here, I'm just going to pause that. I don't want to hear that anymore. Sports. I don't have a lot to say about this. I'm not a big sports person, but you're going to get some live sports with Fox Sports Go, some pre-recorded sports with a lot of the rest of these. NFL.com, I'm not so sure. I think it has some live stuff, and this is all pre-recorded stuff too. A lot of your live sports will also come from the channels in Mobdro that we already looked at. So that's sports. I'm just glancing over it, being really quick here, because this video is already moving on to 10 minutes, even as fast as I'm going. I'm going to exit out of here. We're going to take a quick look at Terrarium. It's really simple. It's a lot like the same features of Kodi, but it's just a lot simpler in what it does. And it actually loads super quick on some things that Kodi does not load very quick, like movies and things like that. This loads them usually within 15 seconds, even if it's looking. So here we've got, in Terrarium, if I click on here, I've got TV shows and movies. Let's click on a movie. Let's see, Beauty and the Beast. So if I click on this, and then I click play, the play button on the remote, I can play this. But let me, oh, and also there's IMDb stuff. Let me just go back really quick. Movie information, okay, maybe not. Okay, sorry about that. There's, we can't open that from here. I thought we could. I'm sorry. I can also favorite this. Let me back out of here and go to TV shows, because I just wanted to show you how that worked really quick. So if I go into Big Bang Theory, I'm going to go to seasons. It's going to fetch all the seasons, much like Exodus did. And click this. And I'm preserving that pop-up, by the way, because this is a fresh install of Kodi, and this is an actual Firestick, the exact one I saw, but it's brand new. I just installed this. So, so it's intentional that I'm preserving that pop-up by unclicking Don't Show This Again. I'm going to click on one of the latest episodes here, and click to play it. It's going to fetch a bunch of sources. Click a 720p one. I'm just going to let it play for a second just to get, okay. Sometimes that happens. I'll click on a second source.
Previously on the Big Bang Theory.
Want to grab some lunch?
You know what? I don't think so.
Oh, well, let me guess. You're not eating because the mean girls circled your chubby bits in marker.
Okay, I had to try 4 different sources. That never happens. But still didn't take very long to find the source. Just had to try 4 different ones. I rarely have to go past the second one on this list. So I don't know why I had to go to 4 different ones. But usually 9 times out of 10, this will load the first source I tried, the very top one, and it will load within a couple of seconds. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to try the next source. I don't think I've ever had to try 4 sources. But there are usually 24 sources that I could try if one doesn't load. So
Previously on the Big Bang Theory.
Want to grab some lunch?
You know what?
okay, so I'm going to end this at 15 minutes. If you get some issues with it stopping and starting, usually that will correct itself the longer it plays, because it will have time to buffer. Sometimes pausing it for a few seconds will also correct that issue. If you find on the rare occasion that it doesn't, you can go back and select another source, but usually it's not an issue. I'm going to wrap this up at 15 minutes. I can't think of anything else that I wanted to show you there. That's basically the Firestick. Thanks for your time. Bye.